Hey there YouTube, my name's Gray, welcome to a blast from the coin-operated past as today on Consoletronix I take you back to the gaudy lights and winner stays on heyday of the arcade scene, with a collection of fondly remembered classics from one of the founding father studios of video games, Taito, in the Taito Legends 2 collection for the original Xbox. Warning! Warning! A fishy battleship approaches! Yes, if you're a frequent visitor to this channel, then you should already know that nothing warms my cockles quite like a good horizontal shooter. So naturally, I had to kick off proceedings with a bit of Darius Gaiden. Ported to both the Saturn and PlayStation back in its day, but now commanding eye-watering fees for a copy, making it a very welcome addition to an A-list lineup of shoot-'em-up titles contained in this collection.
Dungeon Magic.
See, this is why I like these compilations. I had never heard of this one, and with good reason. It was never ported to any home console. But Dungeon Magic from 1993 is no mere Golden Axe clone, as it is lifted out of the usual carbon copy bog standard beat 'em up pack by its use of RPG elements such as experience points to increase skills and branching paths to keep things interesting. It's a rock solid hack and slash action title that more people need to play. Like Darius Gaiden, Elevator Action Returns, the 90s sequel to an 80s classic, was ported to the Sega Saturn, and is now among the more sought after titles for Sega's 32-bit, so I take my hat off to Taito for including it. Jump from one floor to the next in the lifts, and shoot everything that moves in a sequel that far surpasses its highly thought of predecessor. A bit of a theme seems to be developing here, as next I look at another high-end Saturn import title that can now be enjoyed for pennies with this collection. It's Dicky Rin Dan, a stunning shoot-'em-up featuring pilots from different time periods that always reminded me of a short-lived 80s toy line called Ring Raiders, which is by no means a bad thing. Rain down cosmic annihilation in far future space or war-torn Europe in 1945. Dicky Rin Dan is a must-play for any shoot-'em-up fan. It's not just 90s hits on this disc, but for better or worse a whole host of 80s titles as well. This is Legend of Kage, a ninja 'em-up that I have never played before, but I do know it had some success on Nintendo's 8-bit and got a so-so sequel on the DS. The original, however, is a very floaty beat 'em up with little other than nostalgia to recommend. Truth be told, I've never been much of a Space Invaders fan. I respected it as an important early hit that played its part in making video games more mainstream, and that was about it. But Space Invaders 95 is a real hoot, with its bright visuals and fast-paced gameplay, and I keep getting a parodious vibe with its wacky antics. But if like me you never tried this one before, give it a bash. It's really, really good. Also known as Rune Arc, this little known brawler, which is like a cross between Double Dragon and Indiana Jones. You even get a whip as a weapon to help you do your Captain Planet thing and protect the world's wildlife from evil hunters. An average at best home conversion was released for the Mega Drive only, and despite it coming out in Japan and the US, no European version as per usual. I guess our money just isn't good enough for some publishers. And next we have Kikikai Kai, a unique shoot 'em up infused with Japanese folklore that I enjoyed immensely on the PC Engine back in the 90s, and Super Nintendo enthusiasts might recognise as the first title in the Pocky and Rocky series. A pretty basic game when all said and done, but lots of cutesy ghost exercising fun while it lasts. It really is a case of all killer and no filler with this compilation, as I've been looking for a game to take the piss out of just to switch things up a bit, and I thought I found it with this one, Liquid Kids. But bloody hell, this is a good game. Throw water balloons on your quest to do whatever it was you had to do. Sorry, I skipped the intro. Like a lot of the games on this list, there's not many home ports to go around. A couple of Japanese exclusives for the PC Engine and Sega Saturn, and a rather tasty looking conversion for the Commodore Amiga of all platforms. But seriously, this has an almost Lemmings level of addictiveness when you get into it. Great game. Well, we've covered all the bases when it comes to genres, from shoot 'em up, beat 'em ups and platformers, so let's take a look at what is the oldest game on the roster. It's Crazy Balloon from 1980, and you know what? It's not actually that bad. Guide your balloon around a maze of traps and dangers and get safely to your goal. Anyone who's played Kura Kura Kururin on Game Boy Advance should feel right at home with this simple, straightforward and actually surprisingly enjoyable inclusion.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
We love a bit of bubble bobble here at Consoletronix, as it was one of the very first Master System games I got, and I'd argue it's one of the machine's best games. And while the Tetris-inspired Puzzle Bobble is also here, I've spent much more time playing this one, Bubble Symphony, aka Bubble Bobble 2, which, if we've learned anything today, was on the Saturn and never left Japan. But it's what we in the trade call a belter. Seriously, it's worth buying this compilation for, as that's exactly what I did, as this game is exclusive to the Xbox version. And for the final game I'm going to be looking at today, it's another top tier shooter and exclusive for the Xbox edition. It's Rayforce from 1993. And while you may not have heard of it, that's probably because this game has more titles than Anthony Joshua, and is better known by its Japanese name, Layer Section, a blinding shoot 'em up with a soundtrack to match, proving that Taito, now owned by Square Enix, was more than just the company that made Space Invaders, and was every bit as prolific and innovative in both arcades and on home consoles as contemporaries like Sega, Konami, Namco or SNK. Don't believe me? Then pick up a copy of Taito Legends 2 for PS2, Xbox or PSP and see if I'm wrong. So that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed, because I most certainly did. I forgot just how good this collection was, and while there are some noticeable absentees from this and Taito Legends 1, such as Chase HQ, make no mistake, this is an essential purchase for any retro game fan, whether you remember the games or not. I didn't even show off standout titles like Kadesh, Arabian Magic, Insector X or the awesome Metal Black. So if you want bang for your buck, you really can't go wrong with Taito Legends 2. So my name's Gray, I'll have more videos up very soon, so thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.